accomplish here before I inevitably go down in a glorious fireball of cancel culture?
The people I know that are on it are Bobby. I mean, his name is either Bobby Ashley or Bobby Lashley, and I really should know that. He's like this giant black guy, and he and the people who are part of his crew, I know that they called, or at least as of last year, they called themselves the Hurt Business.
Hurt Business?
The Hurt Business. Right? They wear
angle.
suits. And they're like,
okay.
we're cool. Like, we're like...
Tony, I want you to fire me. Tony, don't tell me down, you piece of shit! Shut your mouth! Look at me, Tony. Look at me. I want you to fire me. You fucking mark! Fire me! Fire me!
People aren't built tough anymore. They aren't built to grind. They're built weak, soft. They're used to second place trophies.
In the history of this company. Let's fucking go!
Jabroni, JABRONIXYZ, ABC. Oh, it doesn't matter how you spell jabroni.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to jabroniCAST, presented by bodyslam.net. We are here for NXT In Your House, and as you can see, I am currently all by myself right now. Soon, we will be joined with my co-host for the Jabronis, Mike Butler, and also maybe some pop-ins from other personalities at bodyslam.net. For NXT In Your House. And if you watch the Jabronis, we don't really follow NXT that much. We Black and Gold, we kind of fell out a little bit with the rebrand with Jabronis and talking about it, but this afternoon we were having some drinks. We're like, yeah, there's an NXT pay-per-view on tonight. Let's watch it. Let's hang out. Let's see what's going on. The show is just started off, and I'm almost certain that the main match that I care about is kicking off the show. Where's Tony D'Angelo? That's it. This is my knowledge. Braun Breaker is the men's champion. Mandy Rose is the women's champion. There's Toxic Attraction, women's tag. But Tony D'Angelo. I know Tony D'Angelo. Oh, there he is. We do skim by it. All right, so Michael is here with us in spirit right now. He's talking to us through the chat. But, yeah. All right, where's Tony D'Angelo? We got a joint rolled. How is this not the main event? How is Tony D'Angelo not the main event? What are we doing here? I guess. But we're ready for it. As soon as these jabronis keep doing their NWO knockoff sign, that's great. Where's Tony at? Michael, we're waiting. Where's Tony? All right, a bunch of STDs right here. We got some super tough dudes. I got. What's happening here? What's going on? Is that it? Are we golfing? What is this? Here we go. Here we go. You don't even know who I'm talking about? Tony D'Angelo. I talk about him every week. That means you don't listen. Are the tag champs on tonight? Why, yes. I believe that there is the men's tag titles, and somehow they have enough women in their women's tag division that there's a women's tag as well. So, yes, Michael, we have tag action tonight. I got the card right here. We have Toxic Attraction versus Chance and Carter for the women's NXT tag titles. And then we also have Pretty Deadly versus the Creed brothers. Obviously, everybody knows that that was happening tonight as well. Braun Breaker and Joe Gacy. If Braun gets DQ'd, he still loses the title. And Joe Gacy doesn't have the Parker or whatever, whatever the hell they were calling him. They took all of his hair away, called him Harlan, and fired him. So he's not part of it anymore, but they're still feuding apparently, Joe Gacy and Braun Breaker. That's it. Pretty Deadly. Yep. It's all up here. Oh my God. I'm talking, and Tony D'Angelo's here. Chanting Stacks Lorenzo. Troy 2 times. Troy 2 times Donovan. Let's get this. Should we spark this joint here? Because, I mean, it was meant for this occasion. You're thinking John Wayne Gacy, yes. Tony's going to win this, and he's going to run NXT. I think that's the rules of this match. Should we go? We could do that way. See, it's rolled so nicely. We could do either way. So we're going to go this way. Tony D'Angelo. Let's go. Who's going to be head of the table? Who's going to be the tribal chief? The loser has to join the other. Does the loser have to be on NXT Level Up too? I don't know the rules of this. I think that comes on Friday. Is Level Up part of the Friday Night Wars? I don't know. It could be. Does the Friday Night Wars are some pretty serious stuff going on. So this might be part of it. Gotta watch out for those Friday Night Wars. All right, here we go. You don't let Tony start off. You let him sit there. You let him marinate. Yeah. Oh, you're mine. Get out of here. No. Marinate. All right, so we have, let me look in here. We have, I believe, 6 matches. Dude, is this almost the same length of we got 6 matches. 1 less than Hell in a Cell tomorrow night. Look at the determination in the eyes of Tony D'Angelo. Where'd it go? All right. Oh, did it already go out? Guys, I'm so disappointed. I feel like the joint for Tony D'Angelo already went out. All right, here we're back, guys. The official bodyslam.net joint for Tony D'Angelo is back. It's going. We have a packed arena for they're masked up. Some are masked up. They brought their title belts. They're on their feet. Here we go. Here we go. Everybody's on their feet. Escobar. Tony. The money match. What everyone paid to see kicking off the show. What are we doing here? Man, should I start watching NXT? I mean, I used to. I was committed to it every single week. And then they had to basically they treated NXT Black and Gold like the thing in Men in Black. Little boop boop. So it's like anything that had a black and gold stench on it. Boop boop. Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith showed up, and they made you forget about it. All right, your LA Knights. No, no. Who is LA Knight? What? You mean Max Dupree? Max Dupree? Because we don't know who the fuck LA Knight is. We didn't create that guy. I think he was still part of Black and Gold, and we don't talk about Black and Gold. I'm surprised they didn't change Finn Balor's name to like Leroy or something. All right, when do we get to the point that Tony D'Angelo like just kills all of these guys and they win? What are we gonna do if Tony D'Angelo loses? How am I gonna continue doing this the rest of the night? Be pretty anticlimactic, actually. I love this set. NXT in your house. So what are we doing here? Leave Finn out of this. I'm sorry. I'm just making comparisons to, you know how they get rid of Walter, Pete Dunne, LA Knight. Changed. Throwback. What's going on, buddy? We're just hanging out. And I was saying, we don't really cover. That's your guys' job, Throwback. You guys do the NXT post show here for Body Slam. So you're probably looking like, what's this asshole doing on here talking NXT when they rarely even, I mean, we don't follow the product as closely. We were just saying before as the Black and Gold days. But I had a few drinks this afternoon. Just saw the pay-per-view was on. Had all the space. We had all the technology here to hang out, and we got the dual screens here. I got 3 screens here. Not to brag, not to brag at all, but there's 3 screens here. That's all. We could put whatever on here. I don't know if there's. We had UFC going on before, guys. No big deal. $10 parlay. We picked 13 fights. We cashed that for $700. No big deal. That Tony D'Angelo money. Do you mean Butch and Max Dupree? Yeah, no. I mean Max Dupree. We're going to get some models debuting next week. Oh, I can't wait. We're going to get Mace. We're going to get Mansoor. We're going to get all these handsome men. Max's male modeling agency. I don't know. Max Dupree. I'm drunk. I'm sorry. Are you gonna come on and join us at some point here, or am I riding solo? Like, oh shit, Jason Derulo. Shit, what a terrible reference that was. God damn it. All right, so Throwback Scott, he's hanging out with the girl and her son. They're watching Looney Tunes. So you got NXT on, like hidden on your phone, or you just am I your source of knowledge for NXT? Because if that's the case, I'm very sorry. I'll try my best. But we're rooting for Tony D'Angelo right now. And we got a joint for Tony D'Angelo going, which I keep forgetting about. Eventually, I will. I gotta look busy for I gotta look busy for a tad longer. Oh, okay, yes. So Michael, uh, his daughter is welcoming Jesus into her life tomorrow, and this is very exciting. Jesus LFG, let's go. It's going to be wonderful. Very excited for her. Whoa, Michael, Looney Tunes a better watch. Are you serious right now? We have Tony D'Angelo on and in 3 screens in front of us right now. Humble brag, no big deal. 3 screens, okay? And you know what? We got my phone here. Should I throw it up? Should we have 4 screens? Maybe we'll have 4 screens. You know what? Fuck it. We got 4 screens now. Looney Tunes. He's gonna watch tomorrow. What am I talking about? NXT overall. Yes. You need to help me out. I mean, I have a pretty good idea of what's going on here right now. I remember when I tried to watch, I feel like I watched the NXT special around when Chucky was getting promoted on USA. It was probably Halloween Havoc, maybe. And I remember thinking like, oh, I'll watch like the little video packages prior to the matches, and that'll get me kind of like reminded what's been going on. And then I remember it was just like kind of Chucky talking shit a lot, and there wasn't really that many video packages, so I was kind of lost. But from a distance, I keep my eye. I miss my black and gold. I'm sorry. You're probably sick of people who say that, but I'm a black and gold kind of guy. What's going on? I'm a whore on here. We got 4 screens going. All right. I see 4 Tony D'Angelos right now. It's no big deal. All right. We got the Red Bull going. We got the chat going. We're having fun here. Tony D'Angelo still hasn't won yet, and that's upsetting. Where's that Nikita Lyons chick at? I know who she is. Where is she at? Is she going to be on this pay-per-view? Doesn't look like it. Not yet. I don't see her. It's mentioned. Hasn't been. I feel like let's let it back up, guys. This is for Tony D'Angelo and the family. Soon to be the Don of NXT. All of NXT. There we go. There's flippity floppity floops going on. It's riveting. Oh, a double punch. One missed it. It's okay. Oh, no. All right, let's see. The thing is, if Escobar loses, there could be a possibility he goes up. This might be a swan song. Because Escobar, I mean, he was from the black and gold days. So I could see where, but the stipulations of this match, though, if he loses, he's got to be part of the family. So is everyone going up? We have the whole family going up. Are they taking over? Are they taking on Edge? Are they taking on Judgment Day? All right, everyone's in the ring just going at it now. Shanks are legal. Anything could happen. Oh, this chick's some brass knuckles here. Shenanigans. We can't have this. I swear to God, if Tony D'Angelo gets screwed. Oh, they have their own equalizer. God damn it. It's beautiful. If they're cheating, it's okay. Yes. Yes. Oh, well. Shenanigans. Tony D'Angelo and the family win with shenanigans. This is it. This is the greatest premium live event moment ever. This is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. Let's show the little icon in the corner. Let's finish this off. This is sweet. Let's put a bow on it. 21 minutes. You should have. I would have won it because I watched this religiously and I would have already been up 1,000,000. I would have put all the points on Tony D'Angelo. I just would have sat back. That's tomorrow night where we're going to tie. We also need to add that Madcap Corbin match. Should we both put 8 on it? Or is it 7? It's a 7th match. Let's put 7 on it. Both of us. Madcap. Let's go. Michael, until you come in here, Throwback says he'll come hang out. I will do that. You need to come on and talk about that, okay? 1, because I love that Tony Khan had to go into several paragraphs trying to defend himself about this whole number 1 contender. When you have to tweet multiple paragraphs explaining your ranking systems, your ranking system sucks. So all right, where's my handy dandy? Don't mind me. We're going to get Throwback in here. On it. On it. Let me just go get a... Ah, look who it is. Look who it is. We're gonna have the whole crew here. Hold on. Let's look, I was lonely. Now we got everybody in here. Let's throw up the 3-man. Let's get it going. Everyone's in here.
That almost looks like our belt.
Mike, you here?
I ran so far to get to my computer to join you.
That almost looks like the Wicked Crazy Pinfalls belt that freaking Shane Husky used to have.
I saw that. I saw that just recently, and I'm very disappointed with ours because I got the impression that it was going to be deeply engraved, and it was not deeply engraved. And for the money that was paid for it, I was very disappointed.
Oh, you're talking about this?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You should see the grooves.
Well,
Just like we see Braun right here. I could see his title, and he's got, you see the big X, and it's 3D. That's what that title should look like.
well, the thing about it was that, like I was saying a second ago, the way NXT's been there, there's ebb and flows of it in the 2.0 era. So, like, for me, I look at it as the casual fan would, even though I love NXT, I'm a hardcore NXT fan. And obviously, since I cover for Body Slam, it's one of those things for me where it's like I've seen the ebb and flows, and the last 3 weeks prior to last week's show was absolutely garbage. Like, I've had Drew Nicholas, the Wicked Crazy Pinfalls champion, on, and me and him were looking at each other and we're like, what are we going to talk about? This whole show was garbage for the night. Like, and we just talked about whatever we felt like afterwards, but it's just, last week's show was really good. I tell people all the time, if you want to see a really good Cameron Grimes match, look at that Frazier match on this past Tuesday night. That should have been on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how they're going to put Hayes up, but I've been saying Hayes should be next in line for the NXT title. Because if they're going to pull Breaker up, the smart thing to do would is wait after SummerSlam and give him and Hayes a match. And then if you're going to push Hayes up, push him up after around when he's in Boston. If they travel up this way into Boston, because he's done Chaotic Wrestling in Boston, Mass., it would make sense for him to lose the title in Boston, because that's WWE for you, and have him then go up as an entry in the Rumble as a surprise entry. That would be the smart thing to do. The problem is that after Gacy, because they see Gacy as their number one, heel,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then you've got Hayes. After that, the slope drops dramatically, and the only other person you can think of is the Von Wagner or whatever. But the show's too face heavy, and there's no balance. And the one person who's driving it, I mean, Breaker's a tweener to me, but I think Grimes is the number one face in that company right now.
I love Cameron Grimes. They're like, watching it from a distance recently, because like I was saying before, like I was really, Mike as well, I watched the Black and Gold NXT every Wednesday. I was addicted to it. Takeovers.
You should see Drew Nicholas. Like, me and him, when me and him talked about it on here, he just got the old school Black and Gold NXT, big NXT face championship. So when he beat Shane this past week at Double or Nothing, he's like, I have the WWE Universal, I have the NXT, and now I'll have the Wicked Crazy Pinfalls. And I was just like, damn, he called his shot and he hit it. Now, the way it was is that him and Shane tied at Backlash. So Drew got the number one contendership at Mania to face the champion at the next pay-per-view, which was Backlash. They tied. So the title reach stayed with Shane, but there was a dispute about it. So we had to run it back. You always have to run it back when there's a dispute on this. And literally, he obliterated Shane. Let's be honest, 122 to 78. 78 was Shane. Drew, big money, 3 belts Drew now. It was 122.
How do you guys do your, do you guys do a point system for your?
10 points if you get it right. 7 pinfall, 3 for submission, 1 for DQ. If there is a specialty match, we'll do 15, and you have to pick 3 people. And out of the 3 people, you break it down per the 15 is the base if you get it right, but it'll be like an extra 2 if you out of those 3 you get it right. Right. So it's kind of like, it's fun. It's just a little bit different. This one's not like a show title, it's a community title. And what that means is that in our community, not only Wicked Crazy Pinfalls, Body Slam, Love Wrestling, Fightful, everybody can challenge for this title. Hell, Topher, you can turn around and cut a promo against Bad Blood being the number one contender possibly down the line, and you can beat him to be faced Drew. That's the thing about it. Everybody has a shot at this. It's not like it goes between, Body Slam to Wicked Crazy Pinfalls. I mean, Drew does stuff for Fightful too, so he's doing two things. He's doing wicked crazy pinfalls are represented for us, but he's also representing the community too. And he does stuff with Fightful. So like you'll see that belt behind him. So you're like, oh wait a minute, he does Fightful, but he's also here.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing, because a lot of podcasts, like the Round Table and stuff like that, they go person to person. They go back and forth with each other between, and I love BB and Julian and Shane, but it's the truth. You only go around in a circle with one belt with like that. Shane has to officially mail this from Oregon to Brooklyn, New York, to give it to Shane within about his next, Shane freaking Drew, for his next title defense, which is going to be next month at some point.
Yeah, we've had it where we've defended against the Round Table boys just recently. I defended it against Mr. Purple from the indie podcast here on bodyslam.net, and he came in very confident. I was a little nervous about it. I was like, wow, what is shipping to Canada? But Mr. Butler ended up coming. It was down to actually me and him. I needed to run a perfect card towards halfway through the show to have a shot, but Mr. Butler ran away with that. He has it there now. So we didn't have to ship it to Canada, luckily.
The funny part about it is Backlash is that Drew was up 4-2, and then all of a sudden Shane came roaring back to tie him. So he literally hates WWE pay-per-views. Drew absolutely despises it. He's like, I'm never going to do it. And he's like, once he got the title, when he won, he's like, crap, I have to kick WWE stuff. Yep, and NXT. He's like, shit, I hate you. He doesn't hate you. It's just the fact that he got upset he had to do it, though. So, but
I think we're opposite. I feel like we always get weirded with AEW pay-per-views because I feel there's so much. I feel like they're a little bit harder to call than, say, example for Hell in a Cell tomorrow night. I feel is much easier to maybe predict than last week's Double or Nothing. But that's just me.
I think for me, I've kind of gotten complacent with certain things in wrestling now where it's so repetitive, and I try to watch AEW, but I work 60 hours a week and doing the show on Thursdays, and then even if we don't do an NXT show on a Tuesday, I'm still watching it, prepping for it, just in case. Like, I watched the entire Frazier and Grimes match, and I wouldn't be shocked that Frazier gets a shot if Grimes passes Sikoa. If he loses, if Hayes gets the title back, that means either Grimes going back up or Hayes is going to move on to the NXT title next. Hey, I got a corner.
He popped out on us. Let me just remove that for now. We got the peace sign for a second, so we'll see what happens there.
So, I mean, eventually there's multiple things. I'm more disappointed with the women's division overall because they're keeping the belts on Toxic or Trash, and it's been way too long since they do it. Now, if rumors are true and they're going to bring Mandy up, they're better off bringing, all of them together up, because let's be honest, Raw needs a women's faction desperately to write the ship out. And with them, there'll be 3 people that can go after those tag titles and go from there. And you can add Sonya Deville to the mix, but you just gotta get people right there. I think Mandy loses tonight. I think Wendy ascends to becoming the champion after how many hits she got of doing that sleep type arm drop off the belt. Me and my boy called it the go to sleep drop. And it's just it's way overdue, and it gets them to move forward. The problem is that with NXT, that with the ebb and flows of it, is that the stories are there. It's just WWE doesn't pull the trigger on the 2.0 side. They just try to build it up and then let it sit and then just take it away like they do on the main roster. And the problem is that this is your third brand. At one point with the black and gold, this was your number one brand. And then you decide to put it against AEW on Wednesday nights. If they left the things alone, we wouldn't be dealing with a 2.0. We would be dealing with the next generation of the black and gold.
How is now with everything with Naomi and Sasha? how is NXT their women's tag division right now? We have that's the match on now. Is it deep, the roster of?
No, they're literally cut and pasting people. You know, when you had like, I don't even care what her name is, but Cadence and Kenzar are literally they're the only real tag team in that division. It's really sad because they had to copy and paste and stuff. They had EO with Kaylee Ray, who's Amber Fire or whatever her name is now, and it's really sad that your women's division, you have to cut and paste people in order to make them do it just to get through the Dusty Cup.
Yeah.
The Dusty Cup. And then you screwed the Dusty Cup and you pooched that and turned it around to make a fatal 4-way for the women's title. Like, come on, dude. It's supposed to be something for Dusty's representation of tag team, and it didn't do it. Now, I think the Creeds need to win tonight, and not just because of the stipulation that Strong said the other night, where if they don't win, they're out of Diamond Mine. It already seems like they're getting rid of Diamond Mine before they start. So it's like, okay, so if they tear them apart, what are they going to do with them? You still have to do something with both of them, and you keep them as the Creed brothers and have, Ivy Niles as part of it is their, third person, kind of like what Jensen and Brooks are doing with Fallon. So it absolutely doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like they very like high hopes for Tiffany Stratton. I don't see it. I think Roxy's going to be the breakout star champion on that one and face whoever is the champion. In the way it's going to set up is that down the line, I think Roxy is going to wait until Cara Jade becomes the NXT champion for the women, and literally there is your feud for about 2 months right after that. The jealous friend versus the person who's the most successful of out of the friends,
I wanted to ask you about Diamond Mine because I feel there's been so many iterations of just from the beginning of it. It seemed like there was a lot of cuts, and then they lost a bunch of members, and people were getting added, then people were getting removed. So how many, I'm not off on that. Has there been many different members?
It's been very different. They added another person, a former NCAA champion in there. I don't know his name, but he had his first match on television, and he literally it was like him and Shelton. It was like Brock Lesnar and Shelton Benjamin had like an illegitimate kid and just let them go at it and destroy the place. But what really hurts them is Stokely Hathaway not being there, the former Malcolm Bivens, because he was the table setter for them, and now it just feels like they're trying to find their way through. So, I mean, having Roddy as a mouthpiece, he can cut a promo, but he can't carry a faction with a promo. Like, if you're sitting there watching Roddy doing it and stuff, and you're just, like, watching, like, seriously intending to see where it's going to lead, you just, like, it doesn't make sense. Why are you threatening them, saying don't go in there, and they're trying to help you from getting hurt, and yet you're the one flipping out about it because all you care about is the match?
Yeah.
Roddy is not happy right now with his current situation. It's kind of like the MJF situation, but a little undertone because people are not going to pay attention to it because it's NXT compared to AEW.
Yeah, I mean, he was the last member added to Undisputed Era back then, and then we come full circle. We come all the way years later, and now everyone who was involved in that is now in a different company, and he's still there. But I would just say that it just doesn't seem like.
I won't be surprised this time next year Roderick Strong will end up in AEW with Cole, O'Reilly, Fish. I will not be shocked at that. I think that if he gets his way and he pushes that hard, because you got to think of it, his wife's no longer in the company, his friends are not in the company. There's all these kids that now are up there. The only person, if they don't pull the trigger on Grimes, is there. I can only see Grimes being the new Tommaso Ciampa kind of style where he wants to stay in NXT and push these people up and get there. It's just a matter of, is he willing to do it? And that's the question. That's why you see Natty going down, Ziggler down, the Viking Raiders down. You've had AJ down for a match. I was praying to God AJ would do a lot more because it would make sense to give him the NXT belt and have somebody like Breaker come after him or Ciampa or all three of them and stuff. I think originally the plan was to have AJ in that spot, and AJ's like, I already did your favor, Vince. I don't want to go back down there.
I did Omos for a year and a half. But now, the Braun Breaker thing, too, which has been for a while. NXT, do you think it has the depth for Braun Breaker to get called up to the main roster?
No, I can honestly say that no. They're stuck with him for the time being. And I'm one of those people as a wait and see with him. He has his moments and stuff, but the story with Gacy, I think Gacy, honestly, right now is doing probably the best thing he's done since 2.0 has started. If this was black and gold, the comparisons to, Bray, Taker, and stuff would be more intense because it would be complemental, but it would be more intense because it would be, the same way it's going. And honestly, Gacy's probably doing the best work right now, as much as a lot of people don't like what he's doing. The best work he's doing in NXT right now compared to when NXT 2.0 started, because he was with Harlan and nobody knew what they were doing, and now it's like focused right on where he needs to be. But it almost has like that Ted Bundy aspect where he has like this cult around him and he feels like he's untouchable. So
Did they ever address Harlan at all when he was released, or did they just kind of?
No, they did the same thing with Dexter Lumis too, and Persia Pirano. They just never notified. They had one segment with Indy and Hudson, and literally they looked at each other, looked up, like, no, and then walked away. And then the following week they had Indy going against Mandy because of the fact that they walked in, made fun of her, and be like, well, you know what, I'm gonna go after you and beat the crap out of you. I'm like, that's what I mean. There's moments in there and on that show, it doesn't make any sense. Like, to quote Sean Ross Sapp, make wrestling make sense. And it doesn't right now. It absolutely is so horrendous. I'm even watching some of the AEW clips of last week, and it's like half this stuff doesn't make any sense. The only thing that made sense was that MJF promo and stuff. And I even said it to Drew one time. I'm like, that has to be the hybrid Austin Punk kind of mix. I even tweeted to Sean Ross Sapp. I'm like, listen, I think that I have a question. Do you think that this could be this generation's Austin Punk because of how impactful it was and passionate? Because, Austin going against McMahon, MJF's going against Tony Khan. That's his boss. Same feeling. Punk going against the third wall when he did the original pipe bomb that he did back in 08. I think it was 11 or 08 or something like that. My mind's a little off. I'm old. But then same thing with MJF. He goes right into the camera and starts flipping out and yelling at everything. A lot of people compare it to Ric Flair's promo against Jay Lethal too, because of how all the veins were popping out there. It's just it has to make sense. And right now, a lot of things you watch NXT, none of it makes a lot of sense, and it's just going through the sea. Now, me covering this stuff, I try to make it sense as possible, but doing an hour-long, post show for NXT is a little difficult at times because when it's more so segment promo heavy and not enough matches. Like, there was one week where there was like 10 segments and 5 matches in a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
And it's like, and the whole time I'm like, where's the next match? Where's the next match? Just get me to the match. I don't want to hear about, Mandy Rose's freaking and Toxic Attraction Lounge. I don't want to hear that. And it's just that stuff. it's really weird. And with In Your House going on right now, and everybody's like, well, throwback should be watched. I worked today. Give me a break. I worked 60 freaking hours. I came on here to talk for a little bit, and I'm gonna go inside in a minute. But it's just I'm waiting to watch this tomorrow with a clear head, because if I know that if I watch this, I'll start going irate. My Irish temper will go through, and I'll start wanting to throw shit. That if I watch this and become more analytically, because I'm not gonna watch Hell in the Cell, because I tend to not watch some of these pay-per-views for a little while just so I can just detach everything. But I'll watch In Your House tomorrow, and then I'll just figure stuff out down the line and stuff. Monday Night Raw, I'll be blunt with you, I don't watch. I think it's probably, even if it's getting a little better from just watching what I see on the social medias, on YouTube and stuff like that, to me, it just doesn't work anymore. It just doesn't fit. And I've been a WWE fan since I was 4, and I'm 41.
You're missing the Cody countdown every week, and Ezekiel, maybe. I don't know. I think that's the Raw has been the Ezekiel stuff I've been a fan of. I do like the Ezekiel stuff. Cody being back's fun. I'm interested to see where that goes in the future. But besides that, there's a lot of nonsense. I can't believe the 24/7 title still exists, things like that. But
for me, it's more so like when they made Becky look like Ziggy Stardust, I was just like, damn. I mean, come on. I at one point I was watching the highlight on YouTube for right on the way, actually at work for a few seconds, and I literally looked at it and I'm like, is that David Bowie wrestling a woman? And then I remember David Bowie's dead.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, Becky. I'm not that. Yeah,
So I mean, it's just it's becoming more and more like weird. I'm waiting for one day. And I said this to someone one time when they announced that Bailey was out. I'm waiting for the day someone pops up with a sign saying, "Bailey, please save us."
I mean, it's inevitable. She's popping up anytime soon.
She did the G4 with Austin Creed, Xavier Woods, the reveal of the rankings and stuff. And it seems like she's making the rounds media-wise too. So it seems like they're inching closer, but I think they want to hold her off considering SummerSlam's coming up. Survivor Series is in November here in Boston, which I probably won't be able to go to. But you're ever in Boston, hit me up. I'm always around somewhere in the state. So
make a trip. It's not
Yeah.
that far.
Yeah. Why? Where are you guys at?
We're in Philly.
Yeah, you're not that far. You're even closer to Drew. Drew, like I said, Drew's in Brooklyn.
Yes, that's not. Yeah, we were at the. Where that? Well, no, it was in the shadows of New York Mania 35.
He was at the Arthur Ashe show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was like, I wish I could have gone that, but it would make sense to hold her off till the Rumble and make that like the biggest pop you can give her, because nobody will expect it. Like you think she's going to make it? You know, they got to have that one big star they have that's on the shelf. Wouldn't it make sense to have Bailey come in as in the John Cena spot at the Royal Rumble?
There's only so much you can mess with a Mania that involves Becky, Charlotte, Ronda again. So I think they need a mix-up. So,
and Bailey hasn't faced Ronda on one-on-one, so that's the one caveat too. I think going back to the NXT thing, I think the only thing that will save the NXT women's division or just NXT as a whole, if you're going to bring a main roster name that's a big name that now on a hot streak, but if she wasn't, I would have brought an Alexa down. She even stated doing the scrums for the 2K22 that she is willing to go down to NXT and only NXT to face Mandy for that title, because it's the one belt she has not held yet in her career.
That makes sense. So of course it won't happen because she's still sort of holding on to a gimmick of a guy that they released, and she's been, ever since that release, she's just been in limbo with this doll, and she's come back now and the doll's still there, and it doesn't make sense still. At least she married Ryan Cabrera though, so she's got that going for her.
But it would make sense, because then you have two former main roster people, and you could add somebody in the mix for the newer class of the NXT stuff, and then go from there. What's interesting, though, and I won't be shocked if they try to push this fast, is that Simone Johnson, who's changed her name just recently on Twitter, I wouldn't be shocked if they try to push her fast like they did with Breaker to capitalize on Dwayne's success, to get him to come down like they did with Rick, to give her her first belt. Like, she'll probably ask her dad to do that. I wouldn't be surprised they fast track that, just because he's in NXT for one night, you know. So,
and that's smart.
If it was a real smart, I would have Alexa go over on Mandy, and then have like Cara Jade or somebody in that match, and just let her just absorb that knowledge from them. So, but who knows? Only time will tell. But hey, catch Tuesday night. I'll be on here with probably Jameson and whoever comes on our way. We'll be sitting here talking about, In Your House and everything else. So I'm gonna I'm gonna go spend time with my girlfriend and her son and just chill. But keep killing it, guys. And by the way, one day that belt will be coming to Boston, and there'll be a beer next to it with your guys' name on it.
Open invite, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, at least you guys will actually let somebody up on the East Coast defend their title. Defend the title. I've been calling out Bad Blood every time, and he's like, "Oh well, give me the Wicked Crazy pinfall title, champion versus champion." And then he turns around and says, "I want a 5-on-5 Wicked Crazy pinfalls and round table and body slam." I'm like, if you're gonna do that, wouldn't you do it in Boston at Survivor Series on the 5-on-5? And one title, champion gets all. It's like, wouldn't that make sense?
I told Bad Blood I want to actually wrestle him, so I'm still waiting for that.
Good luck with that. My money's on Bad Blood.
Hey, go to Chaotic. Go up to Chaotic Wrestling. They'll teach you.
It'll be interesting,
guys. I keep watching you guys, and you guys always make me laugh and smile. So,
thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Let's go. Speaking of Bad Blood. All right, guys. Just keep killing it. I'll be checking in here and there.
Sounds good, man. Thank you.